Hi, I just finished Heavenly Bodies by Imani Erriu, and I literally just finished it like moments ago. Finished it. I'm in my pajamas, so that's the kind of review you're getting today. Just like straight out of the book. First of all, I liked it. I'll start with that. But let me explain what the book is about for the people who haven't read it. And then I'll go into spoilers, and I'll tell you before I go into spoilers if you plan on reading this book. So this is it's a fantasy romance. That's kind of my favorite genre. You're going to see a lot of that on here. I think it's just fun to read. It's fantasy romance. It's got a lot of like celestial metaphor and like, it's got this really interesting religion system. It's kind of got a bit of a cursed main character. There's some classic tropes, enemies to lovers, cute, love that, warring nations against each other, the Capulets and the Montagues, very classic fantasy genre stuff. I like that. I'm a kind of a sucker for one of those tropes. I'll get into more later in this video that's in this book. It's super atmospheric. Just like the world building of it is very atmospheric. You've kind of got a kingdom that kind of worships the light versus a kingdom that worships the dark. And there's more kingdoms that worship more of these stars, and their whole system is kind of based around that, which is, I always enjoy that. There's definitely going to be more as the series goes on in the terms of world building, because right now we have a very narrow view of this one, but it's about to get a lot larger, I think, as we get into more of the stars, which are the gods of this universe, which is pretty cool. Okay, that's kind of what it's about. That's a little summary without any spoilers. Now, from this point on, I'm allowed to spoil the book. So if you haven't read the book, get out of here. Unless you don't care, then stick around. But if you do care, get out of here. If not, stay. And we can discuss. If you've read it, let's discuss, because I just finished it, and that ending really took a twist. I will give my major critique up front is I like a book that I can sort of attempt to figure out as I'm reading it. And this book is very much like, you don't have all the information to figure things out, because there's always like new rules, prophecies, fates and things coming into this book. And it's not really something that's like a system that's worked out where you're going to be able to figure that out. It's like you're going to have to be told as you're reading these things that this is how this goes. That's my main critique, is that the ending was not something that I would have figured out on my own. Like, I wouldn't have been like, oh, spoiler, oh, they're the moon and the sun. Like, I didn't even know that was an option. I didn't even know. I knew that she was falling in love with the guy, right? And so I knew that the guy had to be the king of the stars, but I was like, how the hell is he going to be the king of the stars? The sun. Okay, well, there you go. That's fun. That's cute. I wasn't going to get there. I wasn't going to get there on my own, which is great. I mean, I like reading that kind of book, but if you're someone who likes books that are more show and not tell, like that kind of, more books that you're sort of like figuring it out, or you're not being explicitly told things like as the book goes on, then this book might not be your favorite book in the world. But I enjoyed this book. I'm trying to think what else do I like about this. I just finished this book. The characters, the main character, Ilara, she's really fun. She's just fun. I want to get to know her a bit more. I think that her personality is going to change in the next two books, because this first book was like very much her going through like something very traumatic, and I think the next two books she's going to be growing a lot as a character. This book she grew a little bit for sure. I mean, she got over the whole using her shadows thing and her fear of the light, which was good, but I think that she's got a long way to go, which it'll be nice to see in the second and then the third book how they do that. As for Enzo, we'll see what... I don't think he's going to be very active for a bit in the next book, given that he's in this endless sleep. Good thing that she can dream walk. I'm sure she's going to use... She better use that ability, because he's in endless sleep, just to check in on him. But I think that it'll be interesting to see how becoming like these sun and moon people, celestial beings, is going to change them, because I think it is going to change them. And I'm wondering if it's going to drive this wedge where they're going to become very separated in like a very like sun and moon style of like, you know, ships passing in the night. We're never going to be in the sky at the same, you know, we're always going to be looking at each other from across the sky, as they say in the book. Because obviously, I mean, she's got to go back to her kingdom. He's got to stay in his kingdom when he wakes up, if he wakes up. There's a lot to be discovered about their characters. As for the side characters, first of all, I have this rule, because I have spoiled many books for myself by looking up fan art before finishing the books. Good thing I didn't for this one. So I've looked it up afterwards, and the fan art is crazy good. Love Pinterest for this, by the way. That's my go-to for fan art, is Pinterest. A lot of people thirsting over the villain. That's to be expected from the internet, of course. Wasn't expecting it. A lot of great art of the villain. Ariette, pronounced maybe, yes, no, do not know. Ariette, he's a good villain. I can understand where he comes from. And then the dad is also the villain, the dad guy, whose name is, maybe starts with an O. I don't know, he doesn't come up that much. I mean, he does, but I really don't pay attention to him. That's so mean. He's not the big bad villain. He's just kind of the king who wants the best for his nation, even if that's like morally not the strongest opinion of his. But yeah, Ariette is kind of this god of war type trickster guy. He is a good villain. He does not want the falling of the stars, which is kind of the curse that Alara is fated to. And he can't kill her, which is the cool part, because she's the moon. I wasn't sure. The whole book I never questioned. I was like, why can't he kill her? I was just like, oh, she just can't be killed. Never thought to be like, maybe she's also a star. It is very odd that she is human-ish. And I also do not understand why she can't be killed, but Enzo can be killed. That one, I'm sure we'll figure that out. I mean, they mentioned it sort of at the end of the book as like, oh, well, he's human. His human body can be like destroyed or whatever. But I was kind of like, but hers can't. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because I don't know. They'll explain it in the future, I'm sure. Well, they'll have to, because I think it's going to come up again, because he has to heal and recover and get out of this endless sleep. So that'll figure itself out. As for the other characters from the book, Leo, the guard, and the seer, whose name I when you read names and then you just never have to say them out loud, so that you don't really know what they are. The seer, she's cool. And then they have the girl who is secretly the daughter of one of the stars, who can like transform her. Very helpful skill in this book, throughout this book. Everyone has very helpful magical abilities. I hate it when someone's got like a useless magical ability. Everyone's abilities kind of get used in a very unique way. Except for Leo, I don't think we see his lightning being wielded in like a super helpful way during the battle. But other than that, everyone's quite helpful. I like all the side characters. I like that they're getting we're getting into more of their own lore. So that's exciting. What else do I want to talk about? I wrote down some things. You'll see me reading off screen. It's because I wrote some things down just to make sure I actually talk about everything I wanted to talk about. Oh, pacing. I just read through this so fast. I started it 4 or 5 days ago. I enjoyed the pacing of it. It really picked up towards the end, and the romance is kind of slow burn throughout, and I like that. I have the patience for that, but there's also like enough spicy scenes to keep it to keep you turning those pages. The romance was very explicit, but I kind of loved it. It was very cute. Like their falling in love was really cute. And yeah, I don't know. I quite enjoyed it. I liked all the festivals, and I liked it. Yeah, it was a page turner for sure. I read through it really quick. I always feel like I do that with series books, especially because if I'm liking the book, because I want to read the next one and then the next one. So I will probably go to the library and see if they have the second one on Monday. So I have to wait through the weekend now, but that's okay. I liked the writing style. I'm just reading off my list. I liked the writing style. It was very easy to read. Back to my critique from earlier, it was very much like, this is obviously the first book of a series that's going to be much longer. You can tell because it's like you're still learning things about the world all the time. It's not like world building story. It's like as the story is going on, the world building is being like incorporated into that in a way that I almost wish I knew more about the world going in. But I feel that way about every book, so that's on me. But I liked it. I liked the world building. It wasn't too much. It wasn't like I had to remember this entirely complicated system. It was very straightforward, but it was just like at the end, the thing that bothered me, I think that I'm trying to get at here, is at the end when it was like, oh, they're the sun and the moon. I was like, that's an option? They can be the sun and the moon. What else is out there? Someone's gonna be a planet in the next book, okay? Like what? How far does this go before like some like we can get bigger than sun and moon here, like. And the sun is also a star. Maybe the sun is just a big star. The sun is just a star. Stars are just big. They're just further away or they're closer. I'm having some issues now. Now I've logicked too close to the sun. The sun is also a star. He's the king of the stars. Okay. Because he's closest to the earth. Cool. The moon is a planet. Well, not a planet. The moon is a moon. But it's kind of like a planet. Can other planets be? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I guess he's just a big star. Okay, cool. I think it's just a representation of these gods. I don't think they're actually just like the stars come to be. I think it's late. It's late. It's not even that late. It's not late enough. It's not late enough for this. So my personal response to the book, I liked it. I will be reading the next one. On Fable, I think I gave it a 4.2. I'm very generous with my stars. I usually give, if something's above a 4, to me, anything a 4 and above is like something I would read again, and anything below that is something that I'm fine having just read once. That's kind of how I do it, and then the rest is very relative based on my mood when I finish the book. I'm not a great reviewer. I don't know why I do these reviews. I don't know. I'm just chatty. I just need someone to talk to about these books, but I don't know anyone who's reading the same books as me. So here I am, ranting to you, internet. I cannot wait for the next book now. Now I have questions. And I have predictions. I'll go through those. So I think that she's going to dreamwalk into his eternal sleep like a bunch. And she's going to be like, okay, I'm appointing this person to rule your country while you're taking your little nap. And he's going to have to be like, all right, sounds good. Let me sign off on that in my dream. Or he's going to wake up very mad that she's done all these things. I don't know. I'm not sure how he's going to feel. I think she's going to go back to her country and do her thing, her kingdom, and do her thing, and pick that back up because it is probably shattered. I think that that's going to be quite stressful for her because, you know, it's all fallen apart. She has to regain power in her kingdom. What else? yeah, that's it. I think that's it for now. Yeah. I don't know what else is going to happen. I'm going to have to read the next book. It'll be interesting to read the next book and then come back and rewatch this and see how wrong I was, because I can never guess. I think we're going to get, in the next 2 books at least, I think we're going to get more perspectives from the other gods. I know that there was like a discussion of the stars like rebelling against Ariette, who is a kind of leader. I think when Enzo becomes the sun, that's going to be an issue. They're going to have to like wage a war on the stars, because I don't think they're going to want to be ruled. I think everyone's going to want to vie for like king of the stars. But I don't know, maybe they'll just like submit to him as king of the stars. I don't know. I think Ariette's going to be mad about it though, which is fair. Who wouldn't be? You're in charge and now you're not. That sucks. But yeah, I'd recommend it. I'm probably going to recommend it to my sister because it feels like a book that she would like, after some of the books that she's been reading recently. So that means I'm recommending it to at least one person, so I should be recommending it to all of you. I don't know. I'm trying to think of books that it's quite similar to, just because the magic system is so unique. I would say, I know I just read these and reviewed them, but the Crowns of Nyaxia series has a very similar like multi-god system. Each god has its own sort of magic that it bestows upon its people. Each little kingdom follows the god. So it's similar, if you liked that religious system and that sort of magic system, similar to that, but without the vampires. And I think the romance is quite similar. I don't know, maybe it's quite, no, I don't know. That's what I'll say, is I'll say that it's good. It's good if you like romance fantasy and you like books that are in trilogies. This seems like it's gonna be good. That's my review for book 1. I will be reading book 2, and then potentially, if I like book 2, then I will be reading book 3. And you will see these reviews on here, so subscribe if you want to hear what I think of the rest of the series. Okay, that's it for me today. I'm going to start another book. Well, I'm supposed to be reading this for my book club. So I'm going to read, I started it, I like Kate Quinn's writing. I like how she writes. Her books are easy to read. I'm just not in the mood for this right now. I have too much to do. Okay. Talk to y'all later. Bye.